to another project. First off though, I'd just like to say a big thank you for all the new subscribers and all the comments from the previous Ghost video. So this is a new project and it's going to be based somewhere near the Eastern Front during Operation Bagration between June and August 1944. And it's going to be centered around Miniart's rocket launcher, their BM-824. Obviously during the war there were many variants of this. Their rocket launchers on tanks and all sorts, but this is on their 1.5 ton truck. So that's going to be the main element of the model, and then just build everything up around it. Unfortunately right now I've got very limited shelf space, so this is the size of the base. This is the only room that I've got left, so the size of the truck once it's built is roughly that big. So as you can see, to position the truck, it will be quite difficult to have it after a little bit of forward thinking and planning ahead to set up the truck and then all the other elements around it, the figures and the scenery. But I will use the height. I've got quite a bit of height in the cupboard, so I can display it on 2 or 3 different levels, which will help a lot, and to spread out the figures and the scene. Okay, so just a quick explanation behind the thinking of the title, Look What the Cat's Dragged In. It's based loosely, a bit of a tedious link I know, on the rocket launcher on the back of the truck, the Katyusha rockets, hence the word cat, short for Katyusha. And the dragged in part are the 2 German soldiers being marched up the road by the Russian soldier. It's an old phrase, look what the cat dragged in, meaning someone unwelcome has arrived, hence the German soldiers walking past the crew of the truck whilst they're having a rest. So as I say, a bit of a tedious link, but I thought it was quite an apt title. Okay, so just a quick run through of the figures that I'm going to use on the model as well as the truck. I've got Miniart's Soviet soldiers taking a break, set of 5 figures, number 35233, and they're going to be the crew of the truck just taking a break behind the lines, as described, just having a rest around the foot of the truck. So that's those 5. I've also got Stalingrad's Russian soldier. He'll be walking along the roads with the 2 prisoners. He's 3106. Also Stalingrad's German prisoner, 3526. And this guy's quite nice because he's got some photo etched glasses to put on. As always, the Stalingrad miniature figures are always really highly detailed resin pieces, really nice figures to put together. Obviously the price of one of these was more expensive than the 5 of these put together, but that price obviously reflects in the detail, and this is obviously made of resin as opposed to the plastic. I've also got the other German prisoner, 3156. He's going to be walking as well up the roads, and then I've got a farmer from MK35, and he'll just be watching the scene from his fields whilst he's harvesting some hay. And as the diorama develops, all these pieces will fall into place and where they're going to be on the model once it's finished. I'm up to right now. I'm really pleased with how it's all progressing. I keep getting fresh ideas just to make some subtle changes and a few trying to make some improvements to it as I go along. The foam cutter itself, for about £20 from Amazon, was definitely a good investment. It's much better than the way I used to cut the foam, the previous model, just heating up a craft knife with a blowtorch. The wire cutter by far is definitely worth the extra money. As you can see in the corner here, I've made up the farmer. He's from MK35. He's going to be standing on the edge of his field. I just changed his head, gave him a new head, a bit of a shouting, angry head. He'll be shouting at the prisoners as they're going up the road. And in the other corner, from Diodump, this is their cross. Their website originates from Holland, Dutch company. They got some really nice stuff on their website, diodump.com. Well worth a look out for diorama accessories, bits and pieces. No doubt I'll be using them again. So I just have to build some little steps going up to the cross. I have some flowers based at the bottom, just off the roadside. So now I'm ready to start covering everything with Das modeling clay. This is one I try and use if I can. Das is a really good product. And so I can start building up the terrain, building in some details, and get things moving. So you might have seen on the previous photo just before what the model's going to look like with all the figures and the truck once they're all on there. But just a quick run through, this will be the road leading up from down here, curving around, where the guys will be walking along, the prisoners. And the Soviet soldier. This is the grass verge where the truck will be on, just off the side of the roads, where the soldiers resting around. Down here will be a little bit of water running through. This will be a stream, just about a foot deep in reality, so not deep. The water won't be deep at all. Maybe have a little island in the middle here, and that will be running through into a drain that will be going underneath the road, so I'll have that built there. This is just some vegetation and some roots, some shrubs overhanging the stream. Up here is the farmer's field, just a path leading into the field. Again, just vegetation, grass bank, and another grass bank on this side. Maybe a couple of small trees, a little bit of a few bushes, maybe that kind of thing. Steps leading up to the cross, a few flowers around here, and that's about it. So once all the clay is on, and I'm happy with how far it's going to go up to the sides and up to the edges, how high it's going to be, I can then add the plastic card and run that around the edges of the model to give it a nicer finish, and then I can start painting proper. Also, what I'd just like to say is, in the progress of making this, the channel's hit 5,000 subscribers, which is fantastic. It's really nice, really great news, so I really appreciate that. So a big thank you to all the people that subscribe. And I'm pleased, and hopefully you're enjoying the models that I'm building. this is where I'm up to right now. I'm pretty pleased with the progress. I've just set out the figures and the truck once more just to make sure I'm happy with the layout and where all they're going to go. Just have to raise this guy's head. He's looking down at the ground. He needs to be looking up at the prisoners as they go past. But apart from that, what's next to do is mount the figures on some little wooden dowels like this, just with a bit of wire poking through the top, and I just drill a hole through the bottom of the figures, through their feet, and attach them to the dowels, and they're ready to paint. I've got extra vegetation to add. I've got a couple of things on order coming down from MIG, the nettles and the bush. They're just to add to into the hedges and around the bank of the stream, to bulk it up a little bit and add some more detail. I need to paint the rocks, a few shades, get some weathering onto the rocks. Pleased with how they've come out. And then the water in the stream is going to be Envirotex Lights, just the usual, 2-part resin, so that's to include as well. Don't know how much of that I can include into this video, so that might have to be put into part 2, but at least I can start working on the figures, and again the paint's still to come down as well, so I can start painting these guys up and start working on the truck.